Sorry about that. The mic wasn't on. So, like, share, subscribe, support the stream if you feel so inclined. Shout out to Lewis. Lewis said he saw the movie and it was the best Godzilla movie ever. Um, I was curious. I'm curious to what makes it the best Godzilla movie ever to folks. I'm really curious what that actually means for people. Not because I disagree with him, because I'm curious what it actually means. What are you judging it next to be the best? Um, so I went and saw it. Left the theater about 45 minutes ago because I was doing thumbnails. I make my thumbnails. I don't download them or anything like that. So I was sitting there doing that. Put it top five. Out of what though? That's the question. Why would it be top five out of all the other Godzilla movies that were ever made, Toho or Legendary? Why would this sit at the top? You have to give me a reason. You just can't make a broad statement like that and not quantify it with anything. Just because I don't work. Um, so not leading a bit, I liked the movie. I really did like the movie. And my reasons for liking the movie is not just because Godzilla was going ham on people. That wasn't the reason. I didn't just like the movie because there was actually a human story going on in the damn movie with a giant fucking monster in it. It wasn't a giant kaiju fight movie. He wasn't fighting anything else but people. But what I liked it for is that this movie did have a lot of heart. It had a lot of emotional resonance with the characters that were in the movie dealing with this big fucking monster stomping around their damn town. Um, the main character, uh, um, Shikishima, bro was going through it. He was dealing with it. And I was sitting there thinking about it in the movie. And mind you, I saw the movie, it was a packed house. It was a packed house. And people was in there quiet watching the shit. And one of the most funny things that I noticed from reviews that I've heard about this movie, nobody complained. Nobody complained about having to read the fucking subtitles. You notice that shit? Nobody complained about having to read the subtitles. Or they got 10 minutes of that shit in Snake Eyes or Shang-Chi, and everybody was bitching, oh, it's a terrible fucking movie. Oh my God. Why do we have to read? Ugh. This whole fucking movie was subtitled. Wasn't a person in it speaking English. And everybody reviewing the movie, giving it high praise, they said shit about the subtitles. So what does that mean? Subtitle argument is bullshit. That's all it means. The subtitle argument is bullshit. Whenever you're mentioning that shit, it's just bullshit. Now, Shikishima, the lead character in this, Kochi, yes, as you've heard, he is a failed kamikaze pilot, which honor and duty is a big deal in Japan, right? That was a special, specific mission that they were tasked with to protect their homeland. That's why they were the kamikaze pilots. They were like the last line. Their duty was to protect the homeland, the foreign invaders. That motherfucker pussied out. That is great shame. That is great shame. From a respectful, honorable position, you failed in your duty. Brought dishonor on your family and on your family name. So the level of survivor's guilt that this character deals with is wild. Wild. Dishonor, the disgrace, guilt, rough business. So when you see the character bawling and crying and shit like that, it's not like, oh, he's just a weak bitch. No, it's kind of understandable, man. In that culture, you kind of understand it. He is tormented by that shit. Tore the fuck mented because he didn't respond. He didn't act. Yeah, Lion, you noticed that too, right? Nobody said a damn thing about it. As soon as Snake Eyes came on and they heard some Japanese, they was bitching about that. It wasn't that. They was mad because Snake Eyes wasn't white. Like I said. Now, Shikishima he couldn't go through it. He faked like his plane had some issue and he landed somewhere else, right? And the place he landed ended up being attacked by Godzilla. And it was Godzilla in a smaller form, right? So he wasn't actually as big as he was later in the movie. Now, Shikishima ends up going back to Tokyo and going back to his family's place after the bombs had been dropped on their ass. His parents and his family home is pretty much destroyed. His parents is gone, dead as fuck. His neighbor, I think it was Sumori. I think that was her name. Sumori is still there. She gives him shit because she understands what he is. He is a kamikaze pilot that's walking around alive. Like, what the fuck? What did you do? You didn't fulfill your job. You ain't shit. So she gives him a little bit of crap, but lets him know that his family is dead and her family is dead. Now, this is not going to be a full review. I'm just setting up the cast of characters in a sense. You end up getting introduced to how they're rebuilding after this, like in the days and weeks and months after this, how they're rebuilding. Like their whole city and stuff like that has been fucking destroyed. It's just rubble and wood all over the place. So they're trying to, get back to some semblance of normal and rebuild their lives and shit without the resources they need. Shima meets a woman named Noriko, and she's trying to steal food, and she hands off the baby that she's carrying to Shikishima. And later they meet up and find out that that baby ain't hers. It's not her baby. She found the baby. The dying mother gave her the baby and told her to take care of it. So she does. But it dropped out of that. Rico and Shikishima end up being together. This is not a spoiler. This is just a setup of the characters, right? So from that point, you have these two characters kind of bound together in a sense. Place the real quick. Be bothered. Oh, shit. Too close to the wall. Yeah, it was decimated. That motherfucker was laid pretty much flat. It was good for nothing but a scrap pile after they dropping bombs on it. Now, the little girl is Akiko. The baby is Akiko. The woman is Noriko, and then you have Shikishima, and they become a group. They end up staying together, and over the next year or two, they just built their own family and built this house, right? And Shikishima tries to find work, and he does, doing some dangerous shit. And the dangerous shit he does ends up having him run into Godzilla all over again. The creature from his nightmares that he has dreams every night about. He has nightmares every night about. Now, that's about as much setup as I'm giving you guys because I want you to actually go see the movie. And it's not like there's any shortage of people going to see this movie because, like I said, it was Sunday night and that movie was packed, full of people. Small theater or not, it was full of people. Now, what else did I like about this movie? I agree with some of the reviewers that I've seen that for the most part, Godzilla is kind of an asshole in this. He is kind of an asshole. And I only say kind of because there was a couple of things that he did was just for no fucking reason, just fuck it. That's what it was. It was just on some fuck it. Which made the shit kind of funny, right? Made the shit kind of funny. But for the most part, you have to understand in the movie that Godzilla is provoked. And there's an event that happens in the movie that actually provokes Godzilla. Okay. And that's why he starts coming around, tearing up the town. Okay. He was kind of provoked. Now, yeah, like Lewis is saying, Godzilla is a force of nature, like a hurricane, like an earthquake, or whatever. He is a force of nature. That's just what the hell it is. But it was not nature that created him necessarily. Not necessarily. Right. Now, to me, the heart of this story is those characters. Those three characters that I mentioned. God damn it. Shikishima, Noriko, and Akiko. And what's his name? Haribana. That's the heart of the shit. I had a better emotional reaction out of this movie. Let's put it this way. I haven't had an emotional reaction out of a movie since seeing Killers of the Flower of the Moon. And it was another movie I saw earlier this year that really had me moved, emotionally moved. And this movie was good for that. It was good for that. No, it wasn't a bunch of, monster fights and monster destruction. It was in there, but the story was about the people. And that takes it back to all the older Godzilla movies that I remember seeing that you got involved in the story with these that damn people. The monster would show up, yes, but the monster wasn't the whole story. The story was the people dealing with this shit. And I couldn't help but compare Godzilla Minus One to Godzilla King of the Monsters. There were no annoying characters in this movie. There were no annoying characters in this movie. In Godzilla King of Monsters, Millie Bobby Brown, kind of annoying. Her mama, kind of annoying. Brian Tyree Henry's character, kind of annoying. Right? There were no annoying characters in this shit. Everybody in this shit was earnest and serious about the fuck they was going on. And it meant something to them to fight this goddamn thing. Right? Even if you follow one character, the Hachibana character, even if you followed him, you understand why he is the way he is and what fighting this thing actually means. To come back and try to get your nuts up to fight this fucking creature means to him. You get it. But the lead character, Shikishima, he's the one that you really ride with. I should just call him Kochi because that's easier to say. His torment, his angst, his struggle is like, damn, dude, I get it, but fuck. The characters in King of Monster was like background. Yeah, because if they got killed, it didn't really matter. You just want to see the monsters. But that's what Legendary is good for, showing you the monsters. That's why I didn't shit on it. That's why I liked it. I like seeing Godzilla react to people shit like that, like, motherfucker, I saw you. I like seeing that. This one, though, with the old Toei eye, with the circle eye Godzilla, it was humanized. This is a guy in a suit, but it looks good. It looks really good. Because some of the stuff they do is straight anime in this. Some of this is straight anime, a live action version of anime. And I related it to the Godzilla show that they have on Netflix, the Godzilla anime they have on Netflix, right? And specifically his atomic breath. It's specifically his atomic breath. The way that shit goes off is the way it goes off in that Godzilla animation. Like it's a buildup. It is a blast. It is a motherfucking explosion coming out of him. And the best thing you can fucking do is stay out the way. But he does have a recharge. You gotta wait till he build that shit up again. Now, the costume looked great. He looked big and intimidating. You got a good scale of his size, how fat he is down below. Because in some scenes, he looked fat as fuck. Like, damn, look at you ain't got nothing but balls swinging, like little ass arms and shit, right? Some sense he big as fuck, right? But he looks terrifying, especially with them dead eyes that just look at you. They don't move around and shit. Terrifying. Now watching him destroy a city, yeah, it was fucked up. He was doing a lot. He was doing a lot. Yeah, it was something like 50 meters. If you Google the character, if you Google Godzilla Minus One, you'll get some videos, or not videos, even some pictures, some still images that shows you the size of how tall this one is. But he goes through two size changes, once in 45 and once in 47. He grew up over 2 years, got bigger. What else was there in like? The emotional story with the characters was the thing that I liked the most in it, especially when they had the very anime or Japanese cinema scene where one of the characters, Mr. Noda, It wasn't Noda. It was another guy. He's giving a speech to the men that are gathered there to go out there and try to take on this monster. They have a plan. They want to execute the plan, and they need people to volunteer to go back out there and do this shit again. And all these people have come out of war. And the speech they give and why they give it, I thought was really good. I was really feeling that emotional charge from that shit because it is men standing up, grabbing their fucking balls and say, we gonna try. Regardless, we're gonna try. Don't know if it's gonna work, don't know if we're gonna succeed, but we gotta try and we're gonna do it. That shit made me proud of them, and I ain't even fucking Japanese. Why? Because even in the face of that, they were willing to go out there and give it the gusto to man the fuck up, even though they was scared. That was some powerful shit. I really liked that in there because they even said it in there that they knew they might be going to certain death. They still went. They still went. Now, scenes like that really stand out in the movie that you really feel something for the characters in there. Even when Godzilla gets into the city and you get down to the bread and circuses for dumb fucks in the audience who just want to see shit destroyed and people killed. Yeah, people got killed. You saw that shit. No, it wasn't blood and guts all over the place, but people were getting messed up, and it wasn't a cool way to go. One scene I'm thinking about when Godzilla comes into Ginza and the guys are on the roof filming his ass. He ain't even really thinking about them people, but he walked past that building and took out some of it with his big ass legs, and that shit come falling down, and you with the camera, with the people, practical set, riding over, sliding down the side of the building that's crumbling apart and falling over. Like, oh goddamn, dude, that is like the worst. That is like a terrible way to go. It's not instantaneous. You watch yourself fall from the top of a building in rubble and everything else, and even if you happen to survive, which is unlikely, the fall to the ground, the rubble coming down behind you crushed your ass. So maybe I'm just getting old, but I don't see a lot of humor a lot of times when people dying and shit and want to clap it up. But that's what I was getting from this. There was an emotional um, stake in this for these people. Like, oh shit, they getting fucked up. So yeah, you watching a different movie with Godzilla, you can be clapping for all the destruction. But in this movie, you understand that all that destruction has happened. There's people in them fucking buildings. There's people in there, and this creature don't give a fuck one way or the other about them. It is not even a thing for him. So that was one element that was getting me. The other one was I like the editing. That was one of the notes I made that it had really good editing because between emotional scenes and scenes that get you to the next one, they did fades and they had good resolves into the next thing. Really good cuts, right? Especially in the dramatic moments. Like you're like, oh shit, yeah, we good, but oh, what the fuck? What's gonna happen now? Dun, dun, dun. Something comes in and change and gets you up to a next emotional high in a sense. I'm like, damn, this is some good editing. This is some good editing. The other thing that plays really well is the music. Yeah, the Godzilla theme is in there. It's iconic. They can't do a movie without it. But some of the other themes that they have in there when they're talking and going through these scenes with the characters is really good. It's really sticking out. It's really resonating and adding to the scene and giving it that element of, man, this is serious. It's not just some bullshit. Yeah, filled with regret, looking to reclaim his honor. Like I said, I enjoyed the fact that they decided to deal with it on their own. Not that they, yeah, and see, that was the other thing, Lion. I'm not trying to spoil the movie, so don't spoil it in the chat. But yeah, they had to do it on their own. There was no help for them. Not from the government and not from outside of the government. There was no help coming for them. They had to do it themselves. And mind you, these are just folks. These are military people that just survived a fucking war, world war. Just seen the horrors of war. They sacked up and did it again to fight this goddamn monster because nobody was coming to help them. Yeah, fuck it. I'm tired of being bullied. Yeah. It's like, fuck that. That creature got to go, man. He ain't going to keep coming in here wrecking our shit. Fuck him. I don't give a fuck who Godzilla is. They got out there and got at it, man. You got to respect that shit. Got to respect it. Now, what was the other part of it that I really liked? Everybody talks about how the comic breath looks and stuff, and like, yeah, it looks cool. It looked cool in the last movie too. It's a special effect. Yeah, it looked cool. And sure enough, when he lets that shit off, it goes the fuck off. But my thing is, it just lets me know, well, y'all obviously ain't watched the Godzilla anime. Because in the Godzilla anime on Netflix, I think it's like 4 parts by now. When he lets off his, put it this way, Godzilla has been around so long, there's more than one of them on this planet. But the main one is so goddamn big because he's lived for so long, he ran the human beings off the planet. It was his planet. So when he lets off his breath, it is a fucking explosion. Oh, it's a beam, all right. But whatever it hits, it's a goddamn nuclear explosion going off. For real. So seeing that in this movie was like, oh yeah, I've seen that before. That's how it is in the anime. The CGI one. And a lot of scenes that they did in here, like there's one scene where Godzilla comes out the smoke, right? They're thinking they got him. They let off some shit, shot him in his face and everything. Like, yeah, we got him. He come out that smoke, that motherfucker looked just like a Titan from Attack on Titan. That's where that scene was actually pulled from. Coming out the smoke, you see that eyeball, it's like, oh shit, you fucked up now. Right. So some of the stuff, apparently, the Uber Godzilla fans didn't watch the rest of that shit. But that's what they're getting all, you know, jazzed about. But to me, I'm looking at it. Well, okay, there's Spectrum Kid Theater again. Light, sounds, and explosions. That made it really good for you. Okay, okay. Given the fact that the main character in this movie is a fucking 50-meter tall lizard that doesn't talk, the movie having to center around the human characters made sense. And their story was interesting regardless because it was a story of survival. Because they based it back during World War II, you're automatically, as an audience member, grounded in the reality of that situation because you know that actually happened. And it wasn't a fun thing. And you're seeing it from the other side, not the side that dropped the fucking bombs, the side that had to live after you dropped the bombs. And that resonates a lot more with people because now you're automatically in sympathy with these fucking characters. Like, damn, yeah, you do got to live there after that. Yeah, it's kind of fucked up. Wow, your mommy and your daddy. Sorry, your kids. Ugh. Yeah, you watch some videos, some of these documentaries about what it was after Hiroshima and Nagasaki. You'll see that wasn't a fucking cakewalk. That wasn't pretty. It wasn't no pretty shit. So you wouldn't be clapping for it if it was a giant dinosaur showing up or not. That actually means something to Japanese people. It ain't just a fucking soundbite. It is a much a cultural awakening as COVID was for the whole world. Yeah, the actual Godzilla rarely comes up. He doesn't. He's not the main thing. He shows up from time to time, but the story is advanced and developed through the people, not the monster showing up. And not that we have to clap it up that he destroying shit. Yeah, it looks cool, but people is fucking some people is getting, unlived in that situation. So I enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed it for that emotional part of it that really that really resonated with me. That really had me feeling something for the character. Like I said, as much as Shikishima was crying and blubbering at a woman, I didn't see anybody reviewing it calling him a bitch. Oh, he was a simp because he was crying. Oh, let the woman. You understood what was going on with him. You gave him that. Like, man, go ahead, man, get it out. Shit, please get it out. Cause damn, bro went through some shit. He went through some shit. All of them did. Yeah, when humans are pushed, they will fight. You're damn right, and that's what the hell they did. Now, one of the interesting things I saw in this is that there is a scene that's reminiscent of Jaws. It's just a takeoff from Jaws. This is the other thing I haven't heard anybody complaining about. Nobody complained about the scenes that they saw that were taken from other shows. I'm not even complaining about them. I'm not. I gave you two already. The one that looks like Attack on Titan, and this one that looks like Jaws. But what you find out in this scene is that Godzilla heals quick as fuck. Now, I think we've all always known that Godzilla heals. That's why he goes back underwater and rest up, and then he come back a little bit. Not in this one. This motherfucker that shit happens instantaneous, and it happens almost instantaneous, depending on how much damage he's taking. Like the Incredible Hulk. Incredible Hulk can take damage. You got to be pretty strong to do it to him, but he does take damage and heals really quick because the Incredible Hulk is like a cancer and it keeps fighting and regenerating itself. What you saw in this movie with Godzilla, he basically does that. And you saw how quick it was. And it was quick enough to where you saw it. It's like, oh shit, it's a problem. But it gives you the understanding why certain weapons do affect them. You're just healing too quick. It ain't about to slow them down. So it gave you the understanding like that Godzilla is kind of like the Incredible Hulk on a rampage. with atomic breath. So in that case, he could be the Red Hulk, giving off all that radiation and shit. So that was an interesting little wrinkle to throw in there, which means it gives you hope that he is not the indestructible creature. You can hurt him. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger said with the Predator, if he bleeds, we can kill it. You just got to get a big enough bomb in that motherfucker. That's what it is. So I like that aspect because it gives humanity a chance. They're just not overwhelmed and just fodder for, you know, cheap laughs and you know sadistic humor. You got a chance. Maybe you can beat this thing. Yeah, he don't forget. Godzilla never forget. That's why I think people like Godzilla a little bit more than King Kong. Because Godzilla, as much as he's a lizard, he does have a personality to where okay, like okay, motherfucker, I'll be back. Okay, okay, that was a good shot. That was a good shot. Let me get to my little Godzilla sleep. Let me get some little rest, get rested up a little bit. And I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna be back with a motherfucking vengeance. I'll see you in a minute. like, like he go rest up a little bit, and then he back at you. Nigga, one more again. He hold a grudge. He holds a motherfucking grudge. And I think that's what makes it more fun. Kong ain't like that necessarily. Godzilla hold a grudge. Now, what's one of the things I didn't like? One of the things I didn't like was one thing that bothered me, which I know that this Godzilla was practical. It was a practical effect, guy in a suit, which is fine. Right? I grew up on that one. I'm not going to be shitting on that. But because of that, there's a couple scenes that bothered me. When Godzilla is swimming in the water, out in the open ocean, right? He's supposed to be in the ocean swimming. He's swimming like a lizard, like a crocodile, right? Using his tail, he can swim on the surface, right? But at some point, he can stand up, you know, bottom out in a sense, and stand up. And now he's standing up in the water. And he's taller out of the water than the water is deep. So it begs the question for me is that, well, he couldn't have been swimming in that shit because it's too shallow. And that's just a little thing with me. It's bothering the fuck out of me. It's like from his feet to where the water line is on his body is not as deep. It's not deep enough for him to be laying on his stomach swimming in that shit. It's not. Now, that's a little thing. It's a little nitpicky thing because, okay, it's a guy in a suit, right? Okay. But I'm fine with him standing up, but the water should be a lot higher, motherfucker. Should be a lot higher. Hey, you could probably swim in 2 feet of water. Probably could. Dragging your fucking kneecaps and shit like that on the bottom of the pool. And then stand up and it's just at your fucking ankles. But it's kind of understandable. You kind of thin, this way. You kind of thin. Godzilla is not. He got them big ass fucking legs hanging down and shit, and that tail. That motherfucker be dragging all kind of shit. He would basically be redefining the ocean floor, swimming in shallow water like that. You can't comprehend the Toho physics. Listen at you, Lewis. Yeah, look. I think they did it in that King of the Monsters shit too. Like everybody likes to see Godzilla swimming in the water. We all do. But if the motherfucker's standing up in the water, got to be standing on something. And if he's standing on something and the water is really low, he couldn't have been swimming in that shit. Just saying. It's the ocean. Shit ain't shallow. Now, one of the parts where they fucked up on that was in the movie, he's swimming in this water, he gets pissed off and he stands up. Like, okay, bet. But later on in the scene, they spring their booby trap and his feet ain't standing on nothing. So like, so what is he just being buoyant? He just floating there at his thighs? No, that's not how floating works. Well, think of him as a fucking iceberg, okay? Think of him as an iceberg. If the majority of that big ass creature is out the water, he would, and he's not standing on anything, he's just floating, he would flip over. And that motherfucker would be bobbing with his ass and his tail up in the air. So you better get him a little bit lower in the water. And maybe he got his little dinosaur hands and he treading the water with that in his tail or something. Something. Make it make sense. Okay? I'm rocking with you. But that don't work. That's not the way that shit works. Just say it. That's not the point, BMT. I get what you're saying, but that's not the point. Because one of the things they did good that I did like is when he's on land, he's slow. Slow as shit. It ain't the Geno Godzilla that can run like a raptor and shit like that, ducking behind buildings and shit from rockets. No, it ain't that. It ain't Geno. This Godzilla slow. He got the big ass legs. He like a big booty chick. Boy, he just he just slow walking it. It's like that motherfucker probably don't walk very far. You get enough of that shit. Tired. It's like you stepping on people getting pissed off. Make me chase you? Fuck up everything right here, and then I'm going back into the water because I'm tired. I'm fat and heavy. That's why bottom heavy. It helps him float in Toho physics. I used to remember in Toho physics, he didn't even swim. He just walked. He walked out to sea. Until he was fucking submerged because he's so bottom heavy. Shit don't float. That's a big ass Siamese cat, boy. Big ass Siamese cat. I thought that was a fucking raccoon. So that was one of the things that bothered me in the shit. That was one of the things that bothered me in the shit. And it's a minor thing. It's a minor thing. The way this Godzilla was moving, I like how Shin Godzilla moves. Yeah, he was moving slow, but that was a big creature like that is supposed to move slow. It's not supposed to be a fast moving thing. Having it fast moving, it makes it a little bit more scary because that motherfucker's quick. But yeah, that's for Geno. That's for that Matthew Broderick one, Godzilla in name only. That's why I call him. That's why it's called the Geno. That's not my name that I gave him. He's been called Geno since that motherfucker came out. The Come With Me Puff Daddy one, you know. But all in all, I enjoyed the movie. I really did enjoy the movie. I enjoyed the monster combat. I enjoyed the scenes of it, even the regurg scenes that I saw in it from other shows. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the emotional heart in it. I enjoyed the emotional sacrifice that was there and the payoffs in some ways. I really enjoyed that shit. It was a good movie. Now, it be the best Godzilla movie ever, I don't even know what the fuck that means. I really don't understand what that means. And it's not to diminish what anybody's saying. I just really want to understand from somebody what the hell that means to them. because I would have to believe for to take that comment seriously, I would have to believe that this person who said it has seen every Godzilla movie, every one from the beginning, and would be able to tell me why this one is the claws over fat ass better than any other one that's ever existed. Because usually in a statement like that, you can't be better than the first one because you can't get the significant societal pop when this first showed up and people were blown away by it. You can't match that. So if this one is better than the very first Godzilla that ever existed, you're gonna have to fucking tell me why. And it's gonna have to be more than, oh, it's just the best one. Bullshit. Why? Because I can tell you this, I like King of Monsters, but King of Monsters doesn't have the same emotional element that this one has. It might have a little bit better special effects, but it's not as good emotionally and story wise as this one was. I can't say that for if this was better than the original Godzilla movie, because all it would be is special effects and technically better. You think it'd be story wise better? I don't know. Rainforest said, maybe Godzilla's lower half is like an atomic sub with air chambers. That mean the motherfucker would have to fart to blow his ballast. He just big boned it down below, man. He like a big booty chick. Big bootyzilla. Fuck with me. Lewis said I have every Godzilla movie. Awesome. Lewis said this Godzilla movie was serious and dark like the original. Okay. Somebody playing with me. Okay. And not playing in a bad way, but playing in the sense that I wanted to hear more about what they love. And Lewis is elaborating. Okay, Lewis, yes, I would agree. This is serious. It's not a joke movie. It's nothing you selling coffee cups and shit like that from and making a Saturday morning cartoon off of. No, the fuck it ain't. And that's what I remember from the original Godzilla movies. It was serious. That's why you knew them little twins and shit like that, because this was human beings trying to find their last ditch efforts to save their ass from these fucking creatures. And you got into that part. So it being like the original makes sense because the people who made this one are the ones who made the original. So it makes sense. It's not about the spectacle, it's about the human drama. So I enjoyed it. I could see it again because there were a couple of scenes in there that I was like, oh shit. Like verbally loud was like, damn. And I should have put on here that it was not a spoiler reaction. It's just a reaction, not a spoiler thing. But most of y'all know I don't do that shit, so I never have to actually put that in the title. Like, oh, no spoiler. Well, I don't spoil shit. That's a given. Uh, Lewis said, I did not laugh one single time in this movie. I was really scared. It had sympathy for the victims of the movie. I laughed a couple of times. I did. I laughed a couple of times when was the little boat captain was like, nah, we're gonna do our mission and we're gonna do this other shit. And he saw them spines come out the water. He was like, oh hell no, let's go. Doc, get the boat ready. I laughed my ass off because he was talking big shit. He was talking big shit at first. No, we got a mission and we gonna see this through. This is what we gonna do. What the hell is that? Oh shit! He hit the gas on that boat and it didn't move. He was like, Doc, fix the engine. I'm working on it. Hurry up! He was ready to go. He was ready to go. All that bravado went right out the fucking window. It was like, oh hell no, that's big as shit. We got to get the fuck out of here. That shit was funny. I laughed a couple of times in this shit. It was brief, but I did laugh because the shit was just kind of funny to me, right? Call it what you will. Call it what you will. It's just how the scene played out. It was kind of funny to me, but it was humor. It was levity, a moment of levity injected in something that was really serious. Because right after that, they was running for their motherfucking life, and you was on that roller coaster. Like, yeah, I was laughing a minute ago, and now in this next minute, I'm like, oh shit, y'all better hurry. Y'all better hurry. Y'all better get the fuck on. Go, hustle. He coming. Like, then I was worried for him again. Right after that shit. So it did. The movie did have a good emotional presence with me that it was causing me to feel some things for these people, these characters, and not root for them to be fucking stomped on. Which I have found in recent Godzilla movies. I do root for some people to just get stomped out because they're annoying to me. Like, man, fucking kill them people, Godzilla. Yeah, you got that motherfucker good because he was annoying as shit. This movie, people get eaten and shit like that. You're like, oh god damn, why? Why is you tripping, dog? Why is you tripping? He wasn't even doing shit. God damn, you a ass. So yeah, I laughed. I laughed at some points, but I'm kind of dark. I got some dark humor in me, so some shit was striking me as fucking funny when I saw it. But overall, outside of those little criticisms, it was a good movie. It was a good movie. I'm still forgetting what the second movie was that I saw this year that had me have some emotional reactions to it. I'm not remembering what the hell it is, but I haven't remembered shit well just today anyway. So par for the course. But that's it for my reaction to Godzilla Minus One. I would recommend you guys go see it. I don't do stars. I don't do numbers. I tell you if I think you should probably go see it and if you shouldn't. But it's still up to you. Um, if you want to watch it, you won't be disappointed, I think, in paying full price to see it. But I will say this: if you actually want to go see it and really enjoy it, see that shit in IMAX or see it with some really good sound. If you don't go IMAX, try that Dolby Atmos sound because that will give you an experience. It will give you an experience. Watching it this time, I kind of wish I did go see it in IMAX because that would have been some epic shit right there. But I didn't. I saw what was showing next, so it wasn't IMAX. But I can imagine in IMAX with that good sound, that motherfucker would hit. That would hit. So if you feel like spending the money on it, drop your 20, go see it in IMAX, get your popcorn and enjoy. But what up, Donnie Mac? It was a packed house and everybody was happy with what they were seeing. Nobody was sitting there snoring or no shit like that. They was in there watching it. So I enjoyed it, but that's just me. You might be somebody different. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Like, share, subscribe, and click the bell so you get the alerts when I go live and support the stream if you feel so inclined. I've been Artisan MC, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.